The Boys is a series of many hidden layers. Upon pulling them back, each one is usually more shocking than the last, and Frenchie's nickname for Butcher is no exception, as it has a major hidden meaning, one that calls into question everything fans of the franchise thought they knew about Frenchie's origin story in The Boys. The Boys number 37, written by Garth Ennis, with art by Derek Robertson, is a standalone issue featuring Frenchie's outrageous account of his origin. As readers quickly realize, however, the character is far from a reliable narrator, and his tale is anything but a definitive backstory. Instead, the issue emphasizes something that Frenchie's nickname for Billy Butcher had been subtly hinting since the very start of the Boys comic book series, that Frenchie might, in fact, not actually be French. The Frenchman, commonly known as Frenchie, is a member of the Boys who is particularly valuable, as he is a master of weaponry and explosives. Not only that, but Frenchie is absolutely mad. When he gets set off, Frenchie can fight an entire room full of trained soldiers and come out on top, which is how The Boys number 37 depicts him being recruited by Butcher in the first place. That said, the majority of the details in Frenchie's retelling of his personal history should be taken with more than one grain of salt, as the issue itself repeatedly signals. Throughout The Boys, Frenchie is depicted as more than just an incredibly valuable member of the team. He is shown to be an absolute pleasure to be around. As vicious as he can be in a brawl, he is kind toward others, notably the female of the species and the team's newest member, Wee Huey. He is also respectful, the most notable example being that Frenchie always refers to Billy Butcher as Monsieur Charcuter, or, in a rough translation of French, Mr. Butcher. It is the roughness of the translation, however, that belies the inconsistencies in who Frenchie claims to be. The Boys makes it fairly evident that Frenchie isn't French, and the aforementioned nickname for Butcher is a constant reminder of that. Early and often during the run of The Boys, readers noted that Frenchie spoke broken and inaccurate French, suggesting that either the series creators weren't doing their due diligence in their translations, or that there was something more to the character. The Boys number 37 finally addressed this confusion in one of the series' most absurd issues. Though it didn't definitively reveal that Frenchie was not French, it at least implicitly affirmed this reading of the text. In The Boys number 37, Frenchie abruptly tells Huey that it's time he revealed his origin story. What follows is a tale filled to the brim with blatant French stereotypes, all serving as subtle confirmations of his non-French heritage. Frenchie explained that when he was a younger man, he came home from a war to his small French village of Frangla, only to find that the woman he meant to marry had been stolen by his childhood rival. As a result, Frenchie becomes listless and increasingly alienated from his community. However, the time soon came for action, and Frenchie's father stood up to the man who stole Frenchie's true love by challenging him to baguette joist on bicycles, leading to a series of increasingly absurd tragedies. As both the reader and Wee Huey quickly come to understand in The Boys number 37, everything about this origin story is obviously made up. It's patchwork of inconsistent, and in The Boys' patented style, at times offensive, details about France quickly offer the greatest evidence that Frenchie's true backstory remains a total mystery to the audience. Among the notable examples, Frenchie calls his village Frangla, which is actually a term used when someone blends French and English phrases, as Frenchie often does. Secondly, everyone in his supposed hometown called him Frenchie, including his parents, which is decidedly odd given how everyone around him is also French. The details don't make sense, and the entire story is rife with absurd stereotypes commonly associated with the French people. Though why he has adopted a French persona is never addressed, it is clear there are deeper layers to The Boys' Frenchie, which are left inscrutable to the reader. In the end, The Boys number 37 left it up for interpretation. Whether Frenchie believes the story he told is debatable. Regardless of Frenchie's story, the series does present him as a veteran of the French Foreign Legion, a special division of the French military that welcomed enlistees from other countries. In addition, Mother's Milk mentioned that Frenchie had PTSD, which raises the possibility that he created his Frenchie persona as a willful diversion from severe trauma or as a delusion. Either way, the Boys Number 37's text warns against obsessing about the canonicity or truth of Frenchie's story. Rather, as Butcher informs Huey towards the conclusion of the issue, the last line is the most important part, buddy. This occurs shortly after Frenchie left, having finished his story with the declaration that he will now stay with the boys to the bitter end. Naturally, the terrible end of Frenchie's story, betrayed and killed by Billy Butcher himself, makes this all the more devastating. Frenchie was one of the most eccentric characters in The Boys the entire time. Characters in the television series, The Boys either flaunted their thoughts and feelings or kept dark secrets that would eventually come to light. It seems as though Frenchie lived in both of these worlds and forged his own distinct route. Hardcore fans' ongoing conjecture about his true origins, which is one of The Boys' most unresolved mysteries, highlights the significance of the character's place in the narrative.